Welcome to Graybo's Giblets. We are Gray Burnett, Ryan Fitz, and Duke Dotson. We own a sports card shop called Graybo Sports Cards and a sports bar called Parlay in Richmond, Virginia. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets, but you want to get in on the action, so we do the work for you. We bring you 30-minute giblets each week so you can feel good heading up to the window and into the weekend. We are the crossroads of sports lovers, fantasy heads, sports betting, and sports cards. We're out here dropping giblets for the people. And today we have Week 8 college football. It is getting down to the wire of Graybo's Giblets. And you can look over here if you're on YouTube and see I have a special guest. You're going to hear him in a second. I got the accountant, the numbers guy. He's going to give you winners today. Michael Saltzer, good friend of the program. I had to let Fitz go. Then he quit. Fitz is fired. We're in a little transitioning period. Welcome in, Michael Saltzer.
Dude, excited to be here. I got called out about 2 episodes ago for fading the podcast, and now I get invited on after I get Fitz to quit, Denny to quit, and I get brought in, but I'm probably going to have to fade myself after all these picks, but excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you. Yeah. Yes, we dropped the Salt name when his number one rule was to fade the Giblets podcast, and we had to bring him in because last week we crushed. So now it might be fading Saltzer, but I think we have some winners. I think we have some good ones. Let's talk a little bit about your week last week. You had... Your favorite pick was Old Dominion. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we're doing the Cover 5 League, and my favorite pick of the week was the ODU Monarchs going to Marshall as 14.5-point favorites. They've been playing well. They roll into Huntington, and they got waxed.
Absolutely waxed.
They lost 48-24, and then I did some digging. They haven't beaten Marshall since 2016, and they're all-time 1-10 versus Marshall. So I put a little note in the file every year, take Marshall versus ODU money line no matter what. You'll probably get good odds, too, because ODU is always favored.
No matter how bad Marshall is, they're bad this year. And ODU has looked good. I mean, they beat Tech. They've looked good against these power teams, and they come in a conference play. Probably is one of the better Sun Belt teams and then get waxed by Marshall 48-24. But they have their biggest game this weekend against JMU. Winner of this, I think, is in charge of the Sun Belt. So we will talk about that here in a second. For me, I didn't have any really bad beats. A really good week. We had the live show last week. Jack Fitzpatrick from ESPN Radio came on. We had a tailgate last week. And one of his locks was ODU. And JMU also didn't look very good. They only won by 10. So I think both these teams were looking ahead.
Easily.
This is a big matchup. So we'll definitely get into it. To recap kind of last week, 8-2 for me on the live show. Baby, we are so back. That brings me 8-2 brings me to 500 this year.
Hey, if you're hitting 500, you're doing something right.
I know. So I had to go 8-2 just to get back up to 500. So year to date, I'm looking at this. I think I am 17-17-2. I have 2 pushes. So we're back. We're about to cook the second half of this season and try to find some playoff teams. And then the other surprising thing, we have to talk a little bit about James Franklin getting canned for the first time, I think, in history. A 24-point favorite 2 weeks in a row has lost outright. So
they're fumbling.
Yeah,
what is going? To make some changes.
But every player is we love James. We did not. We screwed up. We didn't want him to get fired. I feel like it's our fault. Yeah, what is going on? Yeah, they needed change. It was time. But the rumors, Virginia Tech can do one of the funniest things ever. They can hire James Franklin, and then Franklin can hire Brent Pry back as his defensive coordinator.
They could do that. I don't know if he would go back. Well, he probably still has his house in Blacksburg.
There's no way.
I think they could be roommates in Blacksburg. I don't know. But it would be exciting.
Yeah.
As a Hokie fan, I would gladly take James Franklin.
Absolutely.
Just get back to 10 wins a year.
Let's look at it. He built a great culture at Penn State, great recruiter. Just couldn't win those big games. They had the team this year. number 2 preseason in the country. They were my pick to win it all. I had a future on them 7-1, and then they went to 30-1. I took it again, and then they went to 40-1, and I took it, and then burned the ticket after they lose to Northwestern. I mean, they still had an outside shot after losing to UCLA if they ran the table, and
they would have to beat Indiana and Ohio State.
Correct. And then they lose to Northwestern, and it's just they're absolutely cooked. But they are underdogs at Iowa. And I'm betting the house on Penn State, getting that bump after a fired coach. Yes, I'm staying on Penn State, baby.
Usually, if you've got a good interim head coach, they can get you 1 or 2 wins.
Just need one
after that transition.
They're a dog. That's Iowa. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Iowa can't score.
And Iowa just went into Wisconsin and won 37-0.
Wisconsin is the worst. The worst. Fitz picked them again for cover 5 after saying he would never pick them again, and picked them again, and they got blanked again.
He loves cheese curds and beer.
I guess.
That's what they got in Wisconsin.
I guess. So I had some good wins. Also, we talk about on here, Salt, as you know, the trash game of the week. And last week, if we did have a trash game of the week, since it was a live show, we didn't do that. We would definitely have talked about Kent State, Massachusetts. The two worst teams in the country. Kent State was -2.5, and Kent State was just. I just knew they were the better team. I mean, look at the schedule, and so I bet Kent State, and they beat the shit out of UMass, like 42-6. And so UMass is really, really bad.
If you play for either of those teams, you really got to love playing football. Because what other reason do you have to go out every Saturday morning? You got to love it.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting when you see a team fighting like that who has no real shot at a bowl game or a playoff, and they're just going out and giving it all.
Football guys. Yeah. Football guys. So, yeah, I had Kent State, had Bowling Green. My lock was Texas A&M Utah money parlay that hit. USC, me and Denny loved USC. They waxed Michigan. And then Missouri covers that hook, even though Bama was the much better team. After the first drive, you're like, all right, Missouri might be the team here. But Alabama, I thought, looked the better team all the way through the game, and Missouri just backdoor cover. It was nice there. But Auburn was my big loss. One of the 2 losses on the live show, one of my favorite bets was Auburn. And I don't want to talk about corruption, but the refs and the SEC might be a little corrupt. That game should have been Auburn up 17-0, and Georgia's not coming back from that. And Auburn couldn't backdoor. It was the worst. Did you watch that game at all?
I did not.
The refs. Bring it in.
I'll tell you what.
I did not watch any college football. But I'm going to make some picks.
Yeah.
The refs were so bad that there might need to be an investigation. Like I haven't listened to Hugh Free's press conference, but I hope he got fined for saying how bad they were. And we're a Georgia bar. And for the being a Georgia bar, I'm glad Georgia won, but Auburn should have covered that game and probably should have won.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it because I was dialed into Iowa, Wisconsin just to see how many points they would get.
Said no one ever. I thought there would be more punts than there was points, but actually,
and Texas, there were a lot of good games.
So many good games last week. So many good games last week. But let's get to this week.
Well, can I go over my wins?
Yeah.
Cover 5 wins?
Yeah, go over your cover 5.
So I'll go over my cover 5. Yeah. So my big losses was you take the net points based on the spread. Yep. I had ODU minus 14.5. They lost 48-24. That was a 38.5 point loss to start the afternoon, which was brutal. And we had Oregon. They got blanked by Indiana, which is a surprise team of the year.
We had them too.
No one thought Indiana would come in this year and be as good as they were.
Real quick, I was wrong. Hand up. Signetti might be the best coach in the country. And they have a quarterback. Fernando Mendoza might win the Heisman. Their defense is better from last year. Their offensive line is better from last year. Their quarterback is better than Rourke. Mendoza is better than Rourke. They have a better team and made the college football playoff last year. I went and bet them 10-1 to win the Natty.
And it's all JMU coaching staff. Signetti's done an amazing job at Indiana to turn that team and culture around. Last year, begging students to come to games because he said, you're going to want to see this show. Google me. He's putting a stamp on college football this year, and it's incredible.
They're a basketball team. Could you 5 years ago, if you told me Indiana was going to be number 3 in the nation, I would have put my house on the line for that.
You'd be homeless.
I would be. I mean,
You'd be out on the street.
Cignetti has done a fantastic job. I don't know if I like him yet. Like, I know he's a good coach. I do like the cockiness a little bit. I don't know. But he's a great coach. He's done a great job with Indiana, and they definitely have a future. And, like, Penn State probably really wants him. And he, stone cold face, like, he's got me, like, I'm not leaving Indiana. Like, we're a national contender now. Like, look at the Indiana. Why would I leave? Yeah, like, what makes the Penn State job better than Indiana?
Right now, probably just fan size.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more money, but he's getting the recruits. He's getting the players he needs to win now.
He has done,
I don't know why he would leave.
He has done so great in the transfer portal, and that's what it is now is NIL. And he'll get that funding if he keeps doing this, and obviously a great recruiter. And, you got to throw back to JMU, baby. You went to JMU? Don't people forget.
I'm a JMU alum. I have a degree from there.
He's got a degree. He's a Randolph-Macon guy, but also went to JMU. Met your wife there. Shout out, Rochelle. I bet you listen to this.
She's making her picks, too, right now.
All right, so you had Oregon. We had Oregon, too. Yeah. Bad pick. I blame Jeff. So ODU, Oregon were your losses, but you had some wins to get you back in. Some good ones.
Some big wins. Iowa, Wisconsin, they were 3.5-point favorites. They won 37-0. That was huge.
Nice.
Clemson, 14-point favorites at Boston College. They were winning handily in that game, but then they had like a minute left, and they scored just a garbage time TD to go up even more. And that
Dabo kind of lets off the gas a lot.
But he scored. They could have easily knelt it out, and they were like, no, we're going to get one more touchdown in this game, which is icing on the cake.
Is Clemson back?
And then Texas Tech's a wagon. I don't know if people are paying attention, but they're a wagon.
My Big 12 pick. And I'll kind of talk about that. Like, it's time to start looking at big picture and, like, who's going to be making the playoffs. My 4, obviously, Ohio State will beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship, get the 1, Miami the 2. I have Alabama that will be the 3 after they beat A&M in the SEC championship.
Yeah, that Florida State loss now
and then Texas Tech will be my Big 12 team. I think I don't know how the committee will do it, but I like how the championship should mean something, and all from the big conferences, whoever wins the conference and the championship should get a bye. So Indiana's my 5, A&M's my 6, and that's kind of my top 6 right now.
That's how they had it last year, but they changed it this year to where they're going to seed it. And it could be a situation where, because Texas Tech is playing a Big 12 schedule, which Big 12 is awesome this year.
Yeah.
They could be not looking at a bye the first weekend and looking up at Indiana, Ohio State, Bama, Miami.
Yeah, like, so based off, like, the rankings, Indiana is getting a bye, A&M's getting a bye, right? So you would have – no, so you just have 2 Big 10 teams. You wouldn't have a Big 12 team in there.
No.
In the bye, if you're just looking at schedule and seeding. But will the committee do that? They say they're going to do that.
They say they won't, but they'll probably make some concessions.
Yeah, for sure.
And appease some teams.
I think Texas Tech's an absolute wagon. They rolled Kansas. Did you see the coaches at the end of the game of Texas Tech?
I didn't.
They got into it because Texas Tech throws the tortillas on the field.
They were getting crowd penalties.
Yeah, and they're not allowed to do that anymore, and they keep throwing the tortillas on the field. The Kansas head coach is more worried about that. He said, someone's going to get seriously hurt. It's a tortilla. Get out of here. All right. So not bad week for you, 3-2 on your cover 5 picks. I had the best week of the year, and so you had to listen to the live show. So unfortunately, a lot of people probably didn't see the live show because we did it right before noon, and you missed my best week. So let's get into the board. We have more than 5 games because we're going to talk about a couple toilet bowl games and a couple ranked games for our best games of the week. But College Game Day is heading to Georgia. Parlay is going to be rocking at 3:30, so come hang out with us at Parlay Saturday at 3:30 because number 5 Ole Miss Lane Kiffin will go to number 9 Kirby Smart in Georgia at 3:30, and the Bulldogs are 7.5-point favorites. That hook scares me, Michael. And Ole Miss almost lost to Washington State. That's probably why that line is like that as well. What do you think about this game? Who are you going with based on the spread? This is your first pick of the year.
This is my first pick. This is a big pick. So Ole Miss is ranked number 5. Georgia's number 9. I think the SEC this year, we're seeing some of the biggest parity across the league, where it's our second year in the NIL era, where teams are getting players that maybe they weren't getting before. Teams are going to lose week to week. It's more of like a professional league now than former what college football used to be.
Fair.
The Washington State going into Ole Miss and almost getting the upset is shocking, but I definitely see Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss just kind of foot off the gas, getting ready for Georgia this week.
Yeah, definitely though was a look-ahead spot with Washington State for sure. So you're taking Ole Miss in the points?
I'm going to take Ole Miss in the points.
All right.
I love that hook. And Georgia
the hook is beautiful.
Georgia has not been blowing teams out, and I think these two teams are very evenly matched offensively and probably defensively too.
Yeah. I don't like my pick at all. I would not bet this game, but we got to pick it.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart is one of the best in-game adjusters in the country. I do see this game going neck and neck to the very end. And I dogged my Georgia people last week, and I got to be with them this week. So I hate it, but I'm going to take Georgia. Here's why. Now, Ole Miss, I believe, that seating at number 5, I just don't think they're a top 15 team, in my opinion. Still have some quarterback issues. Who are they going to start? You want to start the Chambliss kid over Simmons, in my opinion, but do they start Simmons? I hope they start Simmons. Both defenses really poor with the pass rush, but Ole Miss, looking at the offensive rankings, probably can hang around for a while. I just think there's going to be a late push where Georgia's up 10. This is my call. Georgia's up 10, and they got to score a touchdown, and Georgia gets like a 4th and goal stop and wins by 10 is my call. Ole Miss is 82nd in turnovers. Georgia can create some havoc on the defensive end. So Ole Miss, I see them getting, a couple big turnovers or throwing a couple interceptions. Georgia forcing a couple turnovers, and Georgia getting this 10-point win. I don't love it because I do think Ole Miss's offense will have time to throw because Georgia doesn't get a lot of pressure. And Lane Kiffin's known for his offense. And he's a gambler, right? Like, Georgia's going to have to get some stops on 3rd down and some stops on 4th down. Looking at their offensive ranks, like, it's pretty neck and neck. Georgia's going to have – well, the one thing that Georgia can do well against the Ole Miss defense is Ole Miss can't stop the run.
Yeah,
they're going to shred.
I take back what I said about Ole Miss and Georgia matching up evenly defensively.
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
They're going to shred.
Ole Miss is one of the worst defensive teams.
They're bad on defense, man. They're so bad on defense.
Score.
They can score. That's what.
And
so
Georgia's
like
given up a lot of points.
That hook is so important because Ole Miss can score. They won't. The quarterback won't be pressured as much as other SEC teams, but on the defensive end, Georgia's going to run it down their throats. And Ole Miss doesn't create any havoc this year. They're 118th in turnovers. Not good. So Georgia will do what they want on offense, and Ole Miss is going to have to keep up on offense. Maybe this is an over game.
I can see that.
Maybe. All right, so I'm
Georgia's
taking
been a lot of overs. So
I'm taking Georgia. You're taking Ole Miss. So we're already enemies.
Battle.
All right, let's get to the next one. The best games of the week. We have 2 of them. Number 11, Tennessee at probably the hottest SEC team in the country, or probably the hottest team in the country right now. Number 6, Alabama. Alabama's -8.5. This is a 7:30 game. Alabama probably has one of the most improved quarterbacks. This Simpson kid has looked better each and every game. He's improved every single game. So, Salt, you taking Tennessee, who probably should have lost to Arkansas last week, in my opinion, or are you going with the red-hot Crimson Tide?
I'm gonna roll Tide with Alabama here.
Okay,
At home,
baby.
Revenge game. If you look back at these two teams' history the past 4 years, it's kind of been back and forth of it who's at home. And
SEC home field advantage is a thing. It is a thing. You get a bump. Definitely get a bump in my book. For me, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to roll Tide here. I just am going to take the better quarterback players right now. I think Aguilar is good for Tennessee. I thought they did a good job bringing him in. But really like Simpson. Simpson's line for over-under passing yards is 290.5. So looks
incredible.
Like he's going to carve up the secondary of
He's
Tennessee.
had 18 touchdowns this year and only 1 interception. So he's playing. He's probably
every
one
game,
of the front runners for the Heisman as well.
I think his only interception was Florida State. I mean, his first game as a really starter, you go into that environment, everyone's saying, Bama's done, Bama's done. They're my I bet Bama preseason to win a national championship. They're like the only team I bet preseason that I think has a chance against Ohio State and Miami.
How big of a fluke was that Florida State game now?
Right? Florida State's dropped 3 in a row. But I have the line around 8, unfortunately, that half point again. But I just think I'm an Alabama truther, and I'm going to keep riding the Tide, so I'm going to roll with you. Alabama minus 8.5. This also might look like an over game as well. Watch all the unders hit. I'm taking Alabama at home. I'm taking how well they're playing, how well Simpson is playing with his quarterback play. Alabama's secondary is iffy, and Tennessee Aguilar is pretty good, but I have a gut. This is a gut, right? Like sometimes you look at the numbers and you're like, all right, on paper you're probably taking Tennessee in the spread here because that's a huge number, and it's a kind of a rivalry SEC. But my gut says Alabama.
I just think the game last year in Tennessee kept Alabama out of the playoff. This is a huge revenge spot to try to get Tennessee out of the playoff.
This is why we bring you in.
Yeah.
You drop in knowledge. He's the accountant. He gives me the numbers.
I like that name, though.
The accountant. He's like Ben Affleck in The Accountant.
Without all the murder.
Without all the murder charges. All right, so he's got the numbers here. So we're both on Bama. I like that. The next big one is Diego Pavia is at home, but LSU comes into town. Number 10, LSU at number 17, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a 2.5-point favorite. Noon game. And I would bet Vanderbilt if they were a dog. Diego Pavia as a dog, I can bet. As a favorite, I can't do it, Salt. No. So tell me what you're doing.
I'm gonna roll with the home team. I think.
Woo!
I think they've got some swagger.
Definitely have swagger.
They played well at Alabama.
You know Diego Pavia's mentor, right?
Johnny Football.
Yeah. Johnny Football is on the sidelines every game. Incredible swag.
So I think the SEC teams, again, we said a lot of parity. I think teams are evenly matched this year, and there's no strong force from LSU this year. I don't know if that makes sense, but LSU
I love it.
LSU hasn't been – they haven't looked that great. They've played some good games. They're very strong defensively, but offensively, I don't know if Vanderbilt can score. I don't know if they can hang with Vanderbilt's offense.
I mean, that is perfect analysis, to be honest, because LSU's offense, Nussmeier, I trust him.
Yeah.
They just haven't looked good all year at all.
Especially running the ball.
The chemistry, the run game. There's no run game.
Yeah.
LSU has a no run game. Vanderbilt's defensive line is very good. But LSU, I'm going to take the LSU defense to get stops, and I'm taking the points. I just taking the points. This pro line here, I'm looking at pros, sharps. I would call ourselves sharps.
I would not.
Sharps have the line LSU minus 1.5. So
that makes more sense.
Yeah, you're getting points with LSU. It's a perfect spot for LSU, I think. Kind of like LSU, they lose this game, they're out of the playoffs. I think for both teams, really, this is a must-win for both teams, right? So I think Nussmeier gets it together, coming off a good victory against South Carolina. Just look at the LSU defense. 7 points given up to Louisiana Tech. I know it's Louisiana Tech. 10 points, Florida. Only 19 given up to Ole Miss. 10 given up to South Carolina. So they are looking at LSU's defense. Their offensive ranks. Defensive ranks. They are 6th in the country points. So they don't give up a lot of points. Diego Pavia is going to have a really good game. But like you said, their offense, Vanderbilt's offense, can light it up. And if they score touchdowns in LSU, I don't trust this LSU run game to get it going. Nussmeier is going to have to turn up here, but I'm taking the points. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a very good,
I'm very excited for this game. Close game, but because it's close, and I like Diego Pavia as a dog, and he's not, I'm taking LSU with the points. So we're opposite there as well. All right, let's get into a 3:30 game, the G5 game of the week, the best G5 game of the week. We have Old Dominion coming off a loss, JMU coming off a win, but didn't look so great. JMU is 2.5-point favorites, 3:30 at JMU. You going to the game?
I'm not going to the game.
I know you're not going.
It's apple picking week.
I know you're not going to the game. It's apple picking week.
Going to the mountains.
Does
going
this
to
guy
apple
even
picking.
watch college football? My goodness.
I catch the highlights and the late games after the kids asleep.
I catch Hawaii versus Colorado State. All right, so let's go. Does your Dukes get it done? Yeah, I think you're an ODU guy, too, because you're from Norfolk.
From Norfolk.
Yeah.
Been to a lot of ODU games. Sister's an ODU alum.
Yeah.
I'm a JMU alum. I'm going JMU. I have to. Go Dukes. Harrisonburg's going to be rocking.
You know, every time they have like a big game or they're on game day, they lose.
Oh, easily, yeah. But this is to be, I think, to get the control of the Sun Belt. Who's going to the Sun Belt title game.
Yep.
And JMU still has an outside shot at being the number one G5 team. So
yeah,
it's an important game. But like JMU, this isn't the JMU of the past. Their offense has struggled. They're not blowing teams out. They're over and under. They're an under team, hands down. They've got 5 unders this year. But at home, they're a great team. Can't throw.
Yeah.
And they're sometimes running out a 2-quarterback system.
God, and
it doesn't look that great. But
the one guy comes out, he's running.
Yeah.
The other guy comes out, they're
it's
throwing.
It's like they're not hiding anything. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I like JMU in this spot.
Yeah, I think ODU will be up for this game. I can't wait for this game either. Like you said, outside shot JMU for a G5. Right now it's South Florida and Memphis, and South Florida and Memphis will play each other, same conference. I know you'll get to Memphis a little later. Okay. But I bet JMU to win the Sun Belt, so I'm going to keep going with them. JMU minus 2.5. I'm going to keep going with them because their defense is very, very good. Love JMU's defense to put the clamps on Old Dominion. So let's ride with the Duke Salt. Let's get it done. And hopefully, I would love JMU to get that 12 seed. They'll lose by 40. Yeah. But it'll be cool to get into the playoffs.
It would be very cool.
Let's go, Dukes. All right, grudge match of the week. We got a rivalry game here outside the conference. Number 20 USC traveling to South Bend. Number 13 Notre Dame. Notre Dame is minus 8.5 at home, 7:30. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm taking USC in the points. I love USC. I bet them plus 400 to make the playoff preseason. Their offense is elite. And guess what? Notre Dame, what are they struggling? You usually don't say this about Notre Dame, but their struggle this year is their defense and their secondary. USC is going to put up points. That number is insane, 8.5. Now, you flip it. USC also has a horrible defense, and Notre Dame has a good offense. So take the over, USC points. I'm going to parlay it. That's my stance.
That's pretty good. I like we're watching on TV. It's the Matt Leinart push.
Which was legal back then.
I love this rivalry.
Yeah, great rivalry.
Fighting Irish, I think they had a chance to give up after losing the first 2 games of the season. And USC, like, this is a kind of, you lose this game, you're out.
Yeah.
I don't think
I didn't say Notre Dame was going to lose the game. I said
true.
8.5 is a lot of points.
It's going to be competitive. USC traveling east. I don't know. Is Notre Dame in the Eastern time zone?
No, Central.
Central?
Right? Illinois.
I don't know.
South Bend.
Well, it's Indiana. I don't know. It's not Illinois.
Jeez, you're the expert.
I think it's Eastern.
All right,
But,
whatever. Doesn't matter.
Three times are
West Coast teams traveling anywhere, different time zones. I'm with you.
I like the Fighting Irish. I think they're a very good team this year. They hung close with Miami. They hung close with Texas A&M, which are two of the top five teams. Like,
so again, they're
take
right
there.
So Notre Dame goes 0-2, and you're like, they're awful. Well, look at the teams they lost to, right? And then you could be like, well, those are possibly the two best teams in the country. I think A&M is really good. I think Miami is really good. So Notre Dame definitely still has a playoff spot if those are their only two losses. But this is a must-win game for Notre Dame. This is their hardest team left on their schedule. Very easy after this, just based on who they play and stuff like that. But that's just too big of a spread. I think Notre Dame wins. I really do, for all the things you said. At home, USC traveling. USC, bad defense, but a lot of points here.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame wins by a touchdown, and we still cover. So let's go.
All right. Well, I think they're going to win by more than a touchdown.
All right.
They've held their last two opponents to a touchdown apiece.
Okay.
Well, it's NC State and Boise State. But defensively, they're playing really well. And they turned it around after those first two losses.
So they got some momentum on defense, but they haven't played a unit like this on offense. And I'm going to say this again. USC, the only reason they lost to Illinois, and they lost by 2, is everyone on their team, a lot of stars had food poisoning the night before. People forget.
Don't eat bad clams.
Okay.
Don't get shellfish in Illinois. That's
all right. So I wanted to add another game to the toilet bowl here. So the first one we're definitely going to talk about is Charlotte's at home, and Charlotte is probably the third worst team in the country behind Kent State and UMass. They're 12.5-point dogs at home against the Temple Owls. When you say Temple, you just want to throw up in your mouth. But Temple has I was going to take Charlotte, but I looked at Charlotte's numbers, and I said, not a chance. Temple actually has a pretty good offense. So I am taking Temple. Charlotte, on every offensive category when I was looking up, and defense is ranked at the bottom. They stink. And you thought they'd be okay with their coach they brought in and Harrell, but they stink. Temple's not bad offensively.
Well,
Temple doesn't turn it over.
They don't.
They don't turn it over.
They're 3-3, but if you look at their opponents, they've played a very difficult
Oklahoma,
schedule.
right? Got
Oklahoma,
stomped, but it's Oklahoma.
Georgia Tech, UTSA, competitive.
Okay. What was the score to that game?
27-21. They won. Okay. And then Navy, which is another solid American Conference team.
Oh, sorry. They beat who? They beat UTSA?
They beat UTSA.
Right, I was about to say, okay. And losing, those 3 games they lost to, not terrible at all.
All those teams are strong. Charlotte is not.
They
lost to North Carolina, who might be one of the worst teams in the country as well.
Which we'll talk about here in a second. Yeah, I had to flip. after looking at. There's Denny one time. He quit the pod. See him over there.
What's up, Denny? One time.
So we got Temple. I think we're both riding Temple here.
Riding Temple.
I'm not I don't even know why I entertained Charlotte at 12.5. So Temple Owls. I might go and bet that right now to the window. Temple minus 12.5. The more and more I looked at the numbers, Temple is pretty good on offense, and they don't turn the ball over, and Charlotte just doesn't do anything well. So Temple. Salt wanted to throw in Carolina because he just wants to talk how bad Carolina is. Now, Carolina plays Friday at 10:30 p.m. We're going to watch it. Cal has an actual pretty good quarterback.
Pretty decent quarterback.
So Fernando Mendoza was at Cal and then went to Indiana, and then Cal actually has another good quarterback that will go somewhere else after this year. Probably. So Cal is minus 10.5 Friday night. And I think this is the team UVA is going to lose to as well when they travel to Cal. I think they'll trip up at Cal going cross country because Cal has a quarterback.
That'd be a shame.
So I'm taking Cal. I don't even need to look at anything. I'm taking Cal here. But go ahead and tell me why you wanted toilet bowl and why
I just think it's It's a toilet bowl, plug your nose, take cow, go to sleep, and wake up in the morning and watch your money roll in.
Watch your money.
It's a 10:30 p.m. Eastern time zone game. North Carolina is coming off a bye. But North Carolina, can we talk about how bad they are?
They're coming off a bye. You don't think Bill's going to have them ready for this game off a bye?
No. I think he probably had them do conditioning and didn't talk to anybody and didn't crack a smile.
Definitely didn't talk to anybody. His players.
Jordan is like, we're going to do a photo shoot and Instagram post. And it's North Carolina. If you take all the 136 teams in the FBS for explosive plays, which is like, hey, you're going to score a lot of points if you have plays over 20 yards.
It's 20 yards, right? Anything over 20 yards is explosive.
North Carolina ranks dead last out of 136 FBS teams. They have 9 plays over 20 yards. UMass is second with 11. North Carolina is...
Wait. How are they second with 11? Wouldn't that be more than...
Second to last.
Second to last. Okay.
They have one more game, but still, like, you're behind UMass. You're an ACC team. You have a Super Bowl, like probably the greatest coach of all time in the NFL.
And great defensive mind.
Great defensive mind.
Or supposedly. Does it make you think Tom Brady was just the best?
Yeah, easily. And plays over 10 yards, UNC is second to last with only 50. They're just historically bad on offense. I think morale of the team is just in the dump. It's all transfers, so they'll probably all leave after this year.
How many games has UNC played? You ready for this stat? How many games
He's played 5 games.
Five games. The Gio Lopez kid.
Yeah, and he's out.
Oh, is he hurt?
He's hurt too.
Okay, so I just feel sorry for him because like he was good at South Alabama. I thought that was a good transfer to Carolina for Bill. And when did he get hurt? Because I'm looking at
he got hurt in the Clemson game.
Okay, because I'm looking at his passing yards. I'm like, how in the hell does he only have 430 passing yards? Already got hurt. That's how much I pay attention to Carolina. I just don't need to watch them because they're bad.
But they're gonna set records. You should pay attention for how bad they're gonna be.
I'm taking Cal.
Yeah,
take Cal. Salt's really passionate about how bad UNC is. Take Cal. I love it. All right, so we have all the same picks, except we're head to head with USC Notre Dame, and we're head to head with Ole Miss Georgia, and we're head to head with Vandy LSU.
That's a lot of
all right. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll see how Salt does on his first.
We're giving the people a lot to think about.
Week. Yeah, we are. So let's get into our upset of the week. Salt's coming in here a little late, but I only have 7 points. We didn't pick one last week because of the live show. Oh yeah, we did. So excuse me, because I had Auburn +4. They should have won outright. I should have got points for that. I'm rolling with USC +8.5. They do have a slight possibility of winning, so I can cash that 5 points +8.5. But really looking for the cover to get 5 points here and get to 12. So Salt, we kind of do it like College Game Day does it. You get 5 points for a cover. If you get an outright win from your dog, you get the 5 points plus whatever the spread was, and then 1 point if they push. So I don't see in the show notes you had a pick here. So you going to surprise me?
I wanted to surprise you. I think it's such a dumb pick, but I love it. All right. You're a college football player,
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Teenager, or early 20s. You're making probably $1 million, couple $100,000 a year on NIL. You've just lost 3 straight games. You have a bye coming up the following week, and you're just like, God, get me to this bye. And you have to get on a plane and fly from Tallahassee, Florida to San Francisco and take a bus to Stanford, California.
No.
Playing a late game. You're just dead. Like, we saw this last year. Florida State started losing games, and the team just gave up. I honestly think there's a morale issue once teams start losing games in this NIL
Especially
era.
In college. Yep.
And I think Mike Norvell, was his first name Mike?
Yeah.
I think Mike Norvell has a problem, like,
he's done,
keeping it together when things go south.
Yeah.
And I like
he laid into his defensive coordinator.
I like the trees. I saw some numbers at 18.5. It's dropped to 17.5. So I'm not the only one that thinks this is a big number.
I'm giving you 17.5.
I like the Stanford Cardinals at home versus Florida State.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting, but a big number. Traveling across country it is a thing.
And playing late.
West Coast versus East Coast is a thing.
Playing the last game of the night.
Florida State's playoffs hopes dashed.
Done. you're
These guys
done.
don't care.
You beat Alabama, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, Alabama's going to get in the playoff. They're one of the hottest teams in the country, and you're just dragging. But maybe UVA's top 10. Maybe Pitt's top 20. I don't know. But
UVA might make the playoffs.
you lose 3 straight, and you got to go across the country and play Stanford, and you got a bye coming up. You're not playing
You're
hard.
just thinking about partying.
Yeah,
on
you're
that
just thinking
bye
about
week.
partying, resting. Like, give me that bye week. They're going to mail it in.
Stanford Cardinals. First drop of the Stanford Cardinals on this pod.
I don't like money.
Andrew Luck is
money
ready.
line? Are we talking money line? No, we're not talking money line.
If
We're
they
talking
win.
take the points.
Yeah. But if they win outright, that's you get 17.5 plus 5.
I'll win.
You'll be
1 week win.
1 week winner. I love it. All right, so we got Stanford, USC as our super dogs, and we'll bet that as our money line parlay. I mean, as our dog parlay.
What would that
Sorry.
pay?
I don't know. We can look at it. You can look at it while I'm getting into this next segment. Last segment always is our We Ride and Lock of the week. And remember, drop 5 stars on wherever you listen to us, Spotify, iTunes. If you're on YouTube, drop some 5-star there and some likes in the comments. And bashes in the comments too. We do bad beats and
If you're
we
a
do
Florida
bad
State fan,
comments.
bring it on.
Yeah, if you're a Florida State fan, please bash this man. But you're probably like, yeah, they're gashed. They lost to UVA. So, all right. So last week the A&M Utah moneyline parlay hit. The week before that, Cincinnati moneyline hit. 2 in a row on my locks. I started out 0-4. I'm now 2-4. I'm creeping. Here we go. Are we ready? It's a nasty one. It's Big Ten. Northwestern coming off the win of the season, their season against Penn State. They're going home. They're feeling good. Purdue is going to come in here, 3.5-point dogs, and take out the Wildcats. And I don't even need the 3.5. I think that I have this at even, like pretty much even, and they're getting 3.5. Purdue, yes, got beat by Minnesota by 4. Purdue had 4 turnovers. Purdue turns the ball over so much. But Northwestern is one of the worst teams in defensive havoc. They don't turn people over. So I think Purdue is going to be okay here. Did you know, even with those 4 turnovers, Purdue outgained Minnesota by about 200 yards. So Purdue had like 450 yards total offense. Minnesota had like 200 something. And Purdue lost by 4 because of the turnovers. Like, Purdue is actually not a bad team. Stop turning the ball over. Just make good decisions. Northwestern does not create havoc. I like the Boilermakers to cover this. These teams are very even. So take the points. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do 3.5 as my lock. But as a bet, I will do 3.5 and money line. I'm going the Boilermakers. Let's go. Boil up. Is that a thing? Boil up?
We can make it one.
Boil up,
Boil
baby. Boil up. All right, Salt, you're going with a G5 team that has a shot to make the playoffs.
I'm going with the G5 team, shot to make the playoffs. I'm going to take the Memphis Tigers at the last I saw was minus 21.5 as my lock of the week. Going
That's a big
to
line.
UAB Blazers.
Dilferless.
Shockingly under the radar firing this week was Trent Dilfer being let go from the UAB Blazers. An interim coach coming in kind of makes me nervous, but it's their current offensive coordinator, Alex Mortensen, son of Chris Mortensen.
Is he one of those guys like was a high school coach?
No, he played quarterback at Arkansas. He was a grad assistant in Alabama. He has a pretty good resume. Offensively, UAB throws the ball really well.
I'm done with UAB.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Defensively, they are atrocious.
They're the worst defensive team in the country.
And I like Memphis. Memphis has kind of been a wagon as well if you're not paying attention. Offensively, they run the ball all over teams. Quarterback is one of the leading rushers on the team, but he can also throw it. Brendan Lewis, in the last 5 games, he has a pass completion over 40 yards, so they will chuck the ball around the field.
They're going to do whatever they want on offense.
They'll do whatever they want on offense. I think defensively they'll also be able to shut down UAB. They have a big game coming up against South Florida next week. So I worry about
look ahead spot.
Look ahead, interim coach.
Dang.
However, they're playing for a trophy. This is the Battle of the Bones rivalry game. Winner of this game gets to take home a 100-pound bronze rack of ribs. It might be one of the coolest rivalry trophies out there.
Yeah, and this is a podcast, so you can't see visually, obviously. So go Google that trophy.
Battle of
It
the
is
Bones.
probably the coolest trophy you haven't heard of yet. So go look at it. Memphis, that is a lot of points. They do have the fire and the coach bump. They do have the look ahead spot.
Rivalry
UAB rivalry game. UAB's defense is so bad. So Memphis will put up the points, but can their defense do enough to keep that 21-point spread? Will this be one of your cover 5 picks?
Yeah, if I can get it passed through the committee.
Through your partner?
Through my partner, yeah.
All right. So there you have it, our locks, and we will parlay both of these. Purdue 3.5. Memphis is what is the minus 21.5?
I saw 21.5.
Put it on
also
record.
interesting, just on DraftKings, they have USC plus 9.5 now.
Oh, I like that even better.
Yeah.
But I had it at 8.5. I'll go get 9.5. Money coming in on Notre Dame, huh? All right. So to end. Little card segment. We are a card shop. The buys of the week right now. Bryce Underwood coming off a loss, Michigan. I think this kid's going to be really good. Go start buying his cards. Fernando Mendoza and Carson Beck are my buys of the week. Sell. I don't really have any sells right now. I would say wait for the playoffs and NFL draft hype. Hold Arch Manning after a nice win against Oklahoma. His cards are really down right now. Hopefully he can get a bump. And Drew Aller is dead. So this auto out of 15, Drew Aller.
Get that auto.
Come in here and buy it for cheap. So that is going to do it. Salt, thank you for joining the show. Let's see how we do. We might have to fire you next week, too.
I'll gladly accept if I do really bad.
We're out.
Yeah.
Giblets.